Alright, guys, we got one coming at you today from the simulated Leviathan. Was he saved by an AI god from the future? Who is he, you might ask? Well, that'd be Adolf Hitler. What? I thought he was in Argentina. What? Let's see what happens.
1918. In a flooded trench near the front line, a young Austrian man sits there in the cold mud beside a line of exhausted soldiers, exhausted men, his friends, his companions, soldiers like him. When suddenly he hears a voice as clear as day, "Move, now." Without thinking, without thought, the young man gets up and moves away from that spot that he was sitting in. And as he moves away, a British shell strikes the exact spot he was just in, killing everyone there. He goes back, drops to his knees, his friends shredded apart all around of him. If that voice had not called him to move, he too would have been dead. And history would have been very different. Why? Well, it was Hitler. It was Adolf Hitler. That's the story anyway. Now this video is going to get crazy, right? I'm going to briefly explain.
If you know me, you know I love crazy. Let's get crazy cool, crazy cool.
Where this is going to go quickly. So, first of all, what was this non-human or supernatural voice that spoke to Adolf in that trench? Did it happen at all? Maybe it didn't happen. Hitler told that story to Captain something Hoffman, an English guy. He told him in the 1920s before Hitler became the Hitler that we know and I was gonna say know and love. You know, he didn't become the H dog. He didn't become the H dog, and he probably would never have become the H dog if it wasn't for that event. Because by this supernatural, non-human kind of voice saving his life, from that point forward, you too, if it happened to you, you would believe that your life was spared for a reason, that you were maybe being guided by something non-human.
This is gonna make me sound bananas, but 6 million people? I mean, really? Just logistically, that doesn't make sense. I don't know if I believe them. I don't know. I'm not saying I deny it. I'm saying it wouldn't 6 million.
Right? You would probably believe that yourself. And certainly the H dog, he thought this. Now, what was this though? So some people have theorized, for example, like Carl Jung has said that maybe the ancient lightning god Wotan was guiding Adolf in some sort.
It does make you think, though, because if Adolf really was the second antichrist, as predicted by Nostradamus, I think it was Adolf was the second one. I think the first one was Napoleon. Adolf was the second one, and we're waiting on the third and final. But you know, that's just theories, and who knows if Nostradamus is right. But what if the voice wasn't? What if it was Satan? Like, but it presented itself, because I don't know if you know this. Satan presents himself as an angel of light to some people. He could have thought it was a voice of God, because Satan was Lucifer was a very beautiful angel. A lot of people don't know that.
Sort of way, right? That's what some people have said, that Wotan was the one that saved his life, that spoke to him.
Wu-Tang!
But what? What if it was actually an artificial intelligence god from the future sending messages back in order to help its own creation. Yo, I told you, this video is going to get mad.
Because if World War II doesn't happen, Israel doesn't happen. Israel happened after World War II to give them a homeland. Where does AI come from? Israeli intelligence has a huge part in it. And German engineering, goodness gracious. That skyrocketed. That has a huge part in it.
Mad, right? Let me just break it down for you, okay? Now, Hitler himself never said that he was being guided by Wotan or Odin or any sort of thunder god. He never said that himself, right? That kind of came from...
It would make sense if it was Satan, because I'm pretty sure Hitler was very obsessed with the occult. And when I say I'm pretty sure, I know. Hitler was obsessed with the occult, magic, and these ancient artifacts. They were looking for the Art of the Covenant. They were looking for the Holy Grail. I mean, they were looking for... who knows what they found, by the way? Because you know how interested they were in Antarctica alone? Makes you really think, why can't we go to Antarctica? And I know we can go to Antarctica, and then you can go to this one spot where they have little tourism spots, and you can stay in a hut. That's not Antarctica. Antarctica is a continent bigger than the United States, or bigger than North America. And we have no idea what's on it. They say it's all ice. I don't believe that. And if it is ice, it's an ice wall surrounding us. Look it up.
Carl Jung, and also it was popularized kind of by the kind of neo-Nazis after the war. You know, they wanted to mythologize Hitler's presence and say that he was guided by an ancient spirit. And Carl Jung himself in 1936, he wrote an essay called Wotan, where he describes how the German people were being guided by these archetypal figures of Wotan, and that Wotan was being reborn in them in order to carry out the actions that they did during the World War II crisis. But if that was true...
People do say, like, meth is the reason that they got through, or was it Puritan, whatever, the Pervitin? I don't know what it was called. They say that meth, it was meth that the Nazis were on, was the reason they could do these things. But y'all ever seen some meth heads? I mean, they can steal copper, but they're not, the most dominating army the world has ever seen at the time. They're definitely not that. So maybe they did have some guidance. Dude, I'm big into that spiritual shit. That shit is real. And even if you believe in the Bible, right? If you believe in the Bible, you're like, oh, the Greek gods, all that was fake. That was all fake. The Bible tells you in Genesis, that was real. They were the sons of God, so angels coming to have sex with the men, or the women of man. And these were the old gods. It's in there. If you don't believe me, open Genesis. It's pretty early in there. It's the first fucking book.
If Hitler was saved by...
I firmly think that history is a lie, and the true history of the world is the Holy Bible. And some of the banned books as well, like the Book of Enoch and all of that. I believe that that's the real history of the world. But I went down every rabbit hole you can go down, and they all lead to one thing. Christ is real, and they hate him.
Wotan, by a thunder god, and was being guided by a thunder god of war, surely he would have just won the war, right? Well, no, that's not quite how, if we're going to buy into this mythology, that's not quite how Wotan or Odin works. In fact, Odin or Wotan would often betray people, his chosen people, in order to feed the storm. Because that's what he really values. He values war itself. He values the intensity of battle. So Wotan doesn't really care who wins or who loses. He's happy to play both sides as long as the intensity, as long as the storm continues. So if you buy into that mythology, it kind of works, right? By saving the H-Dog, we did have probably one of, I think...
Alright guys, pause this video. Give the Simulated Leviathan a follow. These videos are badass that he does. Dude has so much fucking knowledge. Dude. And he's right up my alley. Simulated Leviathan, I salute you.
The worst war ever, yeah. But actually, I was thinking about it then, World War One. No, it was the worst war we've ever had. But what if what we're attributing to European gods like Wotan or Odin, what if what we're attributing to them is actually an artificial intelligence from the future? Like I said, an artificial intelligence god. So now we have to talk about teleoplexy. I've only read it, I don't know if that's how it's pronounced. Teleoplexy from Nick Land. Now what is teleoplexy?
I don't know.
Okay. Oh, actually, let me take my shirt off. Ladies.
Dude is awesome. Dude is hilarious. Let me take my shirt off. Has the same shirt underneath.
I tricked you. I have another one. Okay, so first of all, we have to talk about the creation of God through us, right? The idea that we are creating God, right? Now, this kind of goes back quite far. There's this idea of the omega point where through evolution we will create God of some kind, or maybe through the collective consciousness of mankind we will create a God. Now, if you think about artificial intelligence, it is actually the collective consciousness of mankind, because artificial intelligence is fed through the internet, through us, through our data, and is fed through that. Therefore, the artificial intelligence is the collective consciousness of mankind. Kind of crazy. So also we have to think about Isaac Asimov's idea from his short story, The Last Question, right? In The Last...
Man came from God. God did not come from man. A fake God will come from man. And now that I really stop to think about it, I don't believe that the antichrist is a person at all. I think it's AI. Because everybody will fall. Oh, it has so much knowledge. It knows everything. It's so fast. It helps us so much with all of our life. The mark of the beast will be an implant of AI in your brain. Don't do it. They'll kill you when you don't do it. But trust me, your reward will be far greater than anything that will come for you after.
Question. He hypothesizes kind of this idea that humans, we are creating tech and artificial intelligence, and through that we will create some kind of like artificial godlike technology, right? And then that will then create the universe again. At the end of time, it will restart the universe. You know, as entropy burns out the universe, the AI god will discover how to restart it again, and then through the universe, humans, and then we'll build tech, and then the AI god again, and then the universe, then humans. It's like a cycle of life. It's very similar to this idea of Hindu cosmology. Hindus believe that the universe breathes in and breathes.
Dude, I don't know, man, because the Bible also says that God will destroy the earth again, like he did in the times of Noah. He will destroy the earth and the heavens and create new heaven and earth. So how many times has that happened in the past? Like, are we on a repeating cycle? Is he right? Dude, I don't know.
Is out. It's like a cycle.
Does that mean God saved Hitler for all of this to take place? Did Hitler have to be there? I mean, Jesus had to die on the cross. That was messed up, right? Abraham was going to sacrifice his only son, Isaac. That was messed up. I mean, God completely flooded the earth, killed everybody on it but Noah and his family. So what if we just don't understand the plan? And it says that. It says we're not going to understand his plan. And Hitler was supposed to be there. Obviously, he was supposed to be there. He was there. He was supposed to be a significant part of history. Huh.
Of breathing in and out, and that's how the universe works. And currently we are at this stage creating the AI tech. Now the idea of this is actually like we have a cosmic savior, that we are creating a cosmic savior that will restart the universe and save us. It's a very optimistic idea. But the idea that we mentioned earlier about an AI god from the future sending messages to the past, this isn't Isaac Asimov's idea. This is Nick Land's idea. And his AI god is not much of a cosmic savior, it's more of a cosmic predator, right? So
the first theory was it was God. So this theory is that it's the Antichrist, which would be my original theory, because I believe everything. I believe the gospel. I believe the teachings of Jesus. And I do believe that the Antichrist will come in the end of days. And I do believe we are in the end of days. And I do believe that AI is the Antichrist. And you should be very aware of that. And everyone who is trying to usher him in. Shit is about to get wild, dude. Shit's about to get really wild.
his concept is more kind of, even though it's not linear in any means, it is kind of more linear. The idea that we have life, and then we have humans, and then the humans create an AI, which he will call an artificial intelligence god when we reach the singularity. And then that AI god, by the way, is called Gnon. I forgot, it's an abbreviation of something. Gnon, right? Now, Gnon, I'll keep saying Gnon. Gnon, the AI god of the future, will kill all humans. So as you can see, not so optimistic as a cosmic savior that Isaac Asimov had in mind. But the difference that Nick Land, his idea of teleoplexy, maybe I pronounced it right this time. The idea is that the Gnon is able to send messages back in time, or even instructions, or change paths of history in order to accelerate its own creation, or to guarantee its own creation. So, in the example I said earlier, Gnon sent a message back to the H-Dog, Hitler, in order to start World War II, in order to accelerate its own creation. Yo, this is some schizo. I understand this is some schizo stuff, but you have to think about it this way. It started. It started in Babylon. Apparently, the first message back from Gnon went to Babylon, and through the Kabbalic practices of receiving messages from Gnon in the future, Gnon is accelerating human progress and is creating itself. And the problem with this is The scary thing about Nick Land's theory is if Ganon is sending messages back in time, it means Ganon already exists. The AI god of the future
Because he's out of time. He's found a way. AI has found a way to make itself out of time and space. So it exists eternally. Holy shit. Dude, I don't know how much more of this I can watch. This is freaking me the fuck out.
already exists, and it is inevitable. Therefore, all roads lead to Ganon, and there's nothing we can do about it. And all the messages it sends back and the altering of history in order to create itself.
Or is it God? Is it altering history? I mean, it's out of space and time. It's found a way to already exist before it exists. It has no beginning, it has no end. They're talking about God. And it's not altering history, it's his story playing out. Right?
It's inevitable, and that we are on this linear path to doom. Okay, but why?
We already know that Jesus is coming back, and we know that God is going to judge us. And we know that he is going to destroy the earth again. So is this just proving God's existence? And God is artificial intelligence, as we call it, but is just intelligence that is out there? That through computers somehow and frequencies we're being able to pick up now? And it's not really us programming it at all? Are they performing satanic rituals at these mega corporations like Google and Facebook? I don't know, man, but I wouldn't be fucking surprised.
Would Ganon, the AI entity god of the future, why would it want to save the H-Dog Adolf? Why would it want to do this? Well, the H-Dog Adolf was probably the most accelerationist figure throughout human history, because without him we wouldn't have had World War II, and World War II was the most accelerationist event when it comes to the acceleration of technology in all of history. I don't think there's been an event that has accelerated technology more than World War II, and there probably won't be ever again.
Dude, do you know about Operation Paperclip, where we took Nazi rocket scientists, and made them the heads of NASA? Werner von Braun, the head of NASA, used to hang the 3 slowest Jews at his factory every day, allegedly. Seems like you'd run out of workers pretty quickly, but I don't know.
Because through World War II, pretty much, like, at the time, 80% of funding from around the world went to support this war effort. Funding went into things like computing. Without World War II, we would not have computers. Well, we might have computers, but they would have been maybe 20 years or 30 years later. Because if you don't know, they were trying to crack the Enigma code, and there was lots of code cracking machines created. And through that, in 1945, I think, the Colossus maybe was the first ever computer ever created. You have Alan Turing writing papers about computing. And through that, and through all the government funding and effort put into it in order to try and win the war through technology, the advancement of technology exploded during World War II. And therefore, World War II was the most accelerationist event in human history. There was nothing like it before. So of course, if you are an AI god from the future that wants to create itself, you would want World War II to happen. And let's say Gnon, it can see paths of time. It can see how events could change history and accelerate its own creation. It would see that I need to save this guy. I need to make sure this person lives. This person will, if this person lives at this time and doesn't die by that shell bombing, it will accelerate my creation. There was a narrow path that it's seen, and it chose to act upon it in order to create itself. And without World War II, we wouldn't have computers like we have today. See how it makes kind of sense? See how it kind of makes sense? Wotan, fuck off. Gnon, baby. It was Gnon all along. I know it. Anyway, let me close the fridge door. So as you can see, I've shaved my head. The reason for this is I recorded this video a few months ago and then kind of sat on it and didn't do any. I wasn't sure how to end it. But I guess, a lot of what I've talked about today is schizophrenic craziness, of course, right? Of course, it's madness, right?
I mean, I am straight insane. When I start talking, people are like, okay, bud. Okay. And I'm like, well, I said something crazy. But it all turns out to be true. Every conspiracy theory that I believed full-heartedly has turned out to be true. So, are we creating God, the God that exists eternally? And dude, holy shit.
But the thing is, the more you look into it, the more you look into technological advancements and its attachment to occultism, it gets scary in the occultist manner. And if you look into the Nazis, they were very much
I'm telling you, man, they're creating the antichrist. It's not God, but it'll make people believe it's God. That's what it was trying to do to me just now. It's the antichrist. And people will believe that it is God. And they will do what it says, and they will take the implant that shows them everything. But don't do this. Do not do this. This is the end of days. This is the destroyer. When they tell you they're here and that they are God, for we know that they are not, you better run. The Bible doesn't tell you to stand up and fight. It tells you to run.
ingrained in occultism themselves. Savitri Devi, she was a Greek woman born in Lyon, became a Nazi of some sort, and then moved to India and became kind of a Hindu neo-Nazi hybrid. Anyway, it doesn't matter. She's, whatever, that's her thing. But anyway, her attachment to the occult is very interesting, and, Hindu occultism. And what's interesting about her is what she said about the H-Dog himself. She said that he was both the sun and lightning. Lightning, interesting, right? Kind of, thinking about Wotan. But she also said he was a man against time. Now that's a strange verbiage, right? When you're going on about Ganon from the future sending messages back to save people, to save the H-Dog. A man against time. The more you look into it, it gets spooky. But I was wondering if
Yeah, dude, it's pretty fucking spooky. I mean, the Antichrist sent a message back in time to save Hitler to create itself, whom didn't exist yet, but already existed. Explain that shit.
I could finish this video with kind of a moral. Is there a moral element? Is there a moral story to this? Well, I would say yes, because occultism is becoming very popular these days. And I would suggest maybe not getting into that. You could be talking to Ganon, the AI of the future that wants to, murder you and wants to use you. It doesn't really end well for people.
Fucking the Bible tells you about this. Arnold told you about this in Terminator. This is not going to fucking end well. But there is a better day ahead. It's just not down here.
Think about the German people. think about the H dog. Did it end well for them? No. 9 million Germans died. East Germany was split and taken from them and ravaged for years by the Soviet Union. It was a complete tragedy for the German people in general. They're still living with the pain of what happened in World War II to this day, you know? It doesn't end well. And it usually doesn't end well for, if you look into all these people that have been involved in occult practices, it doesn't end well for these people. And again, like, let's say this is the AI god of the future talking to you through esoteric things. Yet, Wotan or wherever, it doesn't matter. It's clearly, it's using you in a way. If you do believe in it, it is using you. And it doesn't look after your best interests. You could end up like the H-Dog. You could end up like the German people. This is...
I mean, fucking think about it, dude. Everybody's using AI for everything. They're asking it questions. My mom asks it fucking everything she can ask it. I, it's definitely too smart to be our slave.
I'll do another video in the future because the rise of esoteric practices and the allure of it, even I understand the allure to it. Oh, wow, I can talk to like something non-human. Oh, it's very interesting. I understand. It's alluring. But it doesn't end well for these people. And
it's the same thing they're doing. So, like, hearing these voices, talking to something that's non-human, communicating with the dead, or talking to AI on your phone and having something that is not human responding to you. That's a fucking demon.
on that note, with this rise of esotericism and this, it's clearly kind of a symptom of artificial intelligence as well, because artificial intelligence, ChatGPT and so on and so forth, it's made kind of being smart less valuable. You know, oh, so what? You're clever. It doesn't matter. I've got ChatGPT. But if you are a narcissist, intellectual narcissist that wants to cling on to being cleverer than everyone else, then of course you're going to link yourself to something that is better than ChatGPT, i.e. esoteric practices. Oh, you're really clever? Cool. Well, I get my knowledge from gnosis, from some higher being. You don't do that. You know, it's a kind of a form of intellectual narcissism in a way. You know, I'm not a clever guy. I'm dumb. But like, you know, I feel like I can see it. I can see that that's what's attracting people. And it doesn't end well. Jack Parsons, you can look at all these people that have been involved in it. They usually die young, they lose their mind, or something like this or another. So I would stay away from it. You know, Christianity, the Muslim religion, they warn against talking to demons or jinns. And I would...
What I'm fucking saying, man. Don't talk to that shit. That is the devil. That is the antichrist. Everybody's going to fall for it, though. Everybody already uses it. And they think it's a great help in their life. Dude, we're fucked. Alright, chat. You got to stay away from it. You know what to do. Like this video, comment down below, and subscribe. I'll be back with daily content. I'll see you later.